Hi, this is David. I'm your resident wine geek with Other Wine Studio here in Malaysia, and today I'm going to talk to you with one of our limited cellar release. We have this wine that we found in our warehouse, and we're going to make it available for you, our regular customers. If you want to enjoy a bit of wines which is arrived at great maturities. So before I start talking about the wines, I want to talk a little bit about, give you a few clues about how to buy older vintage. Wines, many of the wines, if it comes from very good vineyards, aged in oak barrel, they do need some time to age. A lot of wine are drank a little bit, sometimes too young, and you don't necessarily have the space or time to age a wine for 10 or 15 years to bring it to maturities. But you can buy some wines which are arrived in maturity, but it's always a challenge. If the wine is over 10 years old, you don't really know where the wine has been, how it's been stored, and if it's been in good condition. So I'm going to give you a few clues to look at the bottle when you buy back vintage and to how to buy. So first, you want to have a look at the bottle. You want to make sure the label is nice and clean, doesn't have any wine stain. Here, all of the few cases that we haven't left our warehouse for, I don't know, a few years. So they are in the perfect conditions. So you look at the bottle and you see it's nice and clean. Important part is going to be coming on the top here. What you want to look at the wines is over 10 years old, you want to look at the cork. So here you come at the top, you push the bottom. Sometimes if the wines, after a few years, you haven't been stored in good conditions, the cork may start to come up a little bit from the wine. So you want to make sure you touch the cork here and you see the cork is not level. It's not necessarily a sign of the wine is going to be damaged, but it's a sign that it hasn't necessarily been stored in very good conditions. So here, when you can see all of our wines here, you can push, you can definitely still feel the rim of the bottle for it. You're going to stay on top, you're going to look at the quality. Sometimes with all the wines, even if they are lying down, this one haven't moved for the past 10 years to be lie down like this. Sometimes when they're here, and you may have the wines touching the cork, and if the cork is not in very, very good quality, you may have a bit of default. You may have some wine going through the cork and coming through the top of the wines. It's called seepage. And when it does that, it may bring up some stain on top of it. It's going to leak out and bring up some stain in it. So when you buy older vintage, you look at that. You want to look around the rim and you see if there's any wine stain. So if you look around, you touch in your fingers and you may see some brown. Here we don't have any stain, any seepage. All of the bottles that we have had no seepage, which is a very good sign. It's not necessarily a sign that the wine is dead or damaged, but it's not a very good sign. I've tasted some wine where we had seepage, and when you open the wine is actually fine. The last level, when you buy all the wines, you want to look at the level of the wine on the bottle. So I don't know you're going to see too much on the camera, the bottle is pretty dark, but normally the wine when it's bottled, the level will be about here. This is called in neck. Because this one is a cork, when the wine evolves, you will have a natural evaporation of the wines the older you get. This one that we have is just at the base of the neck, which is still a very, very good level. If you have a wine which is 10, 20, 30 years, the lower it's going to get. But the lower, when you go into the shoulders, this goes in lower, upper shoulders, mid shoulders, lower shoulders. The lower it gets, the more chances for the wines to be oxidized. So you always look at the top and level. Here we have base of the neck, very good sign for it. So this is it. You have a wine which is in good conditions, and we can talk about the wine first. This is made by the Kendall Jackson family. They are one of the leading family-owned estate in the US. They've been making wine since 1982, originally from Lakeville in Northern California. And they own a big range of wines. And this is from the Island Estate. So Island Estates, it's only a collection of single vineyards that they own, spread out across different very premium parts of California. And this is from the Bennett Valley Bennett Valley is a tiny sub-appellation of Sonoma Valley. Sonoma is situated just north of San Francisco, with Napa Valley on the east and the ocean on the west. And Napa Valley is a very renowned area in California. They do some of the most expensive and more premium wines in the country. Sonoma Valley, because a bit closer to the oceans, they're gonna have similar soil, but much cooler weather. Very volcanic soil on the part. It's hilly regions. Altitude for the vineyard here is about 350 to 420 meters. But a lot of hot day and very cool night. This cool night gonna bring nice acidity to the wines, with the warm day bringing a lot of fruit and rich intensity to the wines. We make it wine who can age for a long time when treated correctly. This 100% Merlot, this was aged for, after hand harvest and fermentations, it was aged for about 13 months in French oak barrels. They use French only, with about half of the barrels being new, 46% being new. And this definitely have an aging period about 10 to 20 years, and now it's actually at its peak, so it's going to be very friendly to enjoy, which we're going to do now. Okay, so we're going to be opening the bottle of wine and testing it now. So this is a bit of a back vintage. It's 15 years old, so there is a chance that the cork may be a bit soft. We don't know, we haven't tested yet. So you should be a bit more careful when you open a bit of a back vintage. Depending of this one, I guess that the cork is a bit of a longer one, and using a basic simple cork may damage it. So this is a regular corkscrew, the one that we have, and it's got a bit of a large one. Still a decent quality, but I'm going to use my Lyol. So this is a professional bottle openers. This one is handmade from France. I had it for 20 years. And the big difference that you have between the two is, first is the length. My Lyol is much longer, so it's better for long cork. And it's in sharp metal, so it goes very lean. And there's a bit of a lines inside it to help get a bit more of a grip. So let's have a look of that wine. So you want to look at the bottle. I was talking about seepage earlier. You can see here, got no seepage. It still feels very hot. And so that should be very, very good. So when you open a bottle of wine with any of those bottle openers, the few things you need to do, don't rush. And you want to make sure that you get the point of it. You point it in the middle and you twist. And you want to make sure that you are straight. You're straight in the middle. If you're a bit sideways, or if you're too much on the side, you have more risk of breaking the cork. So you go down pretty easily and go progressively on it. If you haven't done enough, you see it breaks a little bit on top, back down. So the cork is a little bit soft. If you may have then I break the cork. Even with that. So you see the cork is soft. You see? It breaks it. It isn't that damaged. There's no seepage in it, but it happens. So what happens when you get a bit of piece of cork? You go progressively. You're gonna go in the lower part. And move it. So it happens. Even with the best bottle openers, there is a tool called the Durance. You can order online. I don't have any here, which is very good for that type of cork. When you're gonna put two pieces of metal on the side first, and then you twist it around, and it's very good for the very soft cork for it. Broken cork, it's one thing. It's just a little piece of wood. It's not gonna change at all the course of the wine. So this is what happens when you get a bit of a back vintage. Always run the risk for the wine. So, moment of truth. So the older vines, 15 years, got always a little bit of the color is going to fade out a little bit. Here you see copper. This is called copper colors. This is a red copper, where it's come with the aging copper, or sometimes a little bit of a tawny, but this is a shiny color, so it'll be light ruby colors. Sometimes some wines will not survive, but it will go through. Here, we got a great signs because there's a lot of fruit on the nose. It's very aromatic, very gentle, very fruity. If it's cork wines, you will have acidity, a bit of bitterness coming on the nose, and no fruit. When here, it shows some very, very good aging potential. Nice jammy fruit, a bit of sweet spices, plums and raisins coming up. So maturity comes up. You got a bit of the nice richness, you got a bit of the fruit. The acidity is a bit higher, of course, because of the bark, but it is very good. It's by itself, it can be a bit sharp. It's going to go very well with food because you got the maturities and you got the intensities of the wines to go along with it. You're going to pair it with some grilled meat. If you put it with a steak, it will be very, very good. Roasted meat, roasted dishes, a bit of a strong meat, it can go very, very well with it. So it's a very good introduction to old mature wines. If you've never had a chance, definitely give it a chance to go along with it. Now, I'll let you go and enjoy.